I've been thinking about something recently. Not all racetracks are created equal. Some are hidden between peaks of the most serene mountains, almost hidden from the eyes of the uninitiated. Others unapologetically sit right in the middle of the biggest cities, demanding the attention of everyone in a 10-mile radius. And some are just waiting patiently for you to discover how much they can offer underneath seemingly mundane appearances, like that quiet kid in high school you wish you had made friends with much earlier. My relationship with tracks also differs from venue to venue. On most of them, I achieve average results. On many, too many if I'm to be honest, I'm way slower than I should be. But boy oh boy, there are few tracks where I am rapid. I bet I'm not the only one and that many of you can relate. We see our little digital temples of speed and we hop in, regardless of what the car or the series is. We always get up to speed very quickly, we're competitive, and we get good results. On the other hand, when we see that a series we want to run a full season of goes to a track we're slow at, we just skip it. After all, only 8 out of 12 rounds count towards the final season result. It's almost as if we're encouraged to skip the tracks we're bad at. But at the end of the day, that leads to a vicious cycle. We get better at tracks we're already good at, and we don't even give ourselves a chance to improve on our worst venues. My best track is Mugello, a fast, flowing series of chicanes disrupted by a ridiculously long straight, nested in a beautiful valley the track is named after. A few weeks ago, the Spec Racer Ford series was there. I signed up for the race without hesitation, despite not knowing the car at all. Within 15 minutes of practice, I was right up there pace-wise, punching way above my weight and fighting drivers with much higher I ratings than mine. At that point, my pace was usually between 102 and 103% of the alien lap times. But that week, in this current track combo, I went below 101%, and I even held the fastest race lap of the week for a couple of days. I was fighting for the wins with 4 and 5k drivers like we were equals. But then, the week ended. Other tracks came into the rotation, and I was right back in the same place as usual, barely hanging on in the midfield. Up to that point, I wasn't very analytical about why things in iRacing happen. I was just enjoying the journey. But having tasted the highest echelons of racing, and then suddenly dropping back down, made me think about the root causes of my sudden increase in pace, and then equally sudden drop at whatever track came next. I knew I didn't lose my skills overnight, and I knew it wasn't a hardware issue. It felt like there must be a chain of causality. I like the track, and therefore I'm fast on it. Little did I know, I had this completely backwards. They say everyone should have one car they know really well to test new tracks, and one track they know really well to test new cars. I already knew Mugello from Assetto Corsa and Project Cars 2. I enjoyed its flow, and it was the very first piece of paid content in the game, pardon me, in a sim, that I ever licensed when I started playing iRacing. From day one, I was spending more time there than anywhere else. Not only testing cars, but also trying to apply in practice every new driving technique I learned, every piece of advice I found on YouTube, and every idea I had. I don't have the exact stats of how many laps I've done on each track in a sim, but I suspect I've driven Mugello more than all the other tracks put together. And that gave me an almost intimate familiarity with the track. At any given moment, I know exactly where I need to be. If I'm not there for whatever reason, whether that be a mistake, a battle with another driver or something else, I know how to get back there. And if I can't, I know how to navigate outside of the ideal racing line almost equally comfortably. I almost never use braking markers there. I know exactly what speed I need to carry through the corners, which allows me to dynamically adjust my braking point depending on my approach speed. Thousands of laps at Mugello have given me near omnipotence there. It is my realm, and I am the king. And I'm exaggerating only ever so slightly. A few months back, the Porsche Cup, rest in peace 992.1 car, was at Road America. I'd never raced or driven there before, and believe me, it was miserable. Not only was I slow, but I didn't understand why. Everyone around me was flying while I was barely crawling. I couldn't get my head around why so many people would put Road America in the top 5 favorite tracks. I mean, it was rubbish. But fortunately, I didn't give up, and after some time, I got a bit of a grasp on the racing line and the braking points. I decided to sign up for a race. But the moment I found myself outside of the tiny, narrow strip of tarmac I'd mapped out in my head, I was violently launched into the wall. But I gritted my teeth, practiced more, and kept signing up for races. And after few of these, it just clicked. I realized that not only am I better and faster, but I genuinely started enjoying driving there. Don't get me wrong, I was and still am nowhere near the avian pace, but I was super happy and super excited because I realized that if I can improve there, I can improve everywhere. Unfortunately, I was so hyped about my speed and fun factor increasing that I did not take any time to understand why it happened. My dopamine-pumped ape brain took over my rational, analytical thinking. I did not connect the dots. Looking back, it is painfully obvious though. What changed was the number next to my Road America lap counter. It was track familiarity that led me to more speed. I am a bit embarrassed by how long it took me to realize that, but once I did, my plan for the next season almost revealed itself. To focus on tracks, not cars, not results. All of that brings us back to the Red Bull Ring. A track I've always avoided because I'm slow here, and a track where I'm slow because I've always avoided it. Nothing fancy, no fireworks, just patiently doing lap after lap, comparing them to other laps, seeing what works, what doesn't, what is fast and what isn't, making mistakes and trying to recover from them, exploring what lies outside of the racing line, subconsciously training my peripheral vision to pick up any visual cues that will help me find the best position and speed on track. It might not be the flashiest thing to do, and it might take some significant time, but I know it's worth it, that every minute spent on track will stay with me for a very long time. 20 hours spent on the track this week will help build a mental model solid enough that recalling it will only take 20 minutes. It might take me years to know other tracks as well as I know Mugello. In fact, it might never happen given how much of a head start it has. But what I also know is that A, I am capable of a very fast pace, and B, however stupid it might sound, given that it's just driving imaginary cars around pixels, this is the time investment that will pay off in the future. And that thought alone gives me the motivation to do the sim racing chores. With this video, I want to encourage you to push yourselves out of your comfort zone. When the time comes and the series you run lands on a track you don't feel fast on, pick up a slow and easy-to-drive car like the new M2 or GR86, fire up a test session, and just start driving. A slow, predictable car that you don't have to fight with just to stay on the tarmac will allow you to give 100% of your focus to the track itself. Do one lap, then another, then 10, 100, maybe 1000. The more, the better. Don't chicken out. Don't skip it. It might be boring and it might suck at first, but it will pay off. Do the chores. You will thank me later. Thanks for watching.